Welcome to another episode of Transform Perspective with Kyra Weathersby. So, I was looking out the window and you may hear the wind rustling, the leaves are just going. The sky was nice, it was shining, and the lighting was great because I like to do natural lighting for the podcast a lot of the times, if not every episode. I have a ring light and all that, but sometimes it just looks a lot better with the natural lighting. And so that's what I've been doing. But today I had it all set up. It looked nice. And the sky just turned a whole different color. And the leaves are all over the place as I'm looking out the window. So, if anything goes down, you know what happened. If this is cut short or a short episode, sorry. But the weather is looking frightful. Literally. But yeah, I hope the weather is great where you are and there's no nothing. It's giving tornado, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Yeah. So a lot of times we think that the love, joy, fulfillment, abundance, wealth is coming from outside of us, you get some money and you're like, oh, I'm rich, I'm abundant, or I have plenty. Or you have a great friendship and you're like, this is perfect. Like, this person makes me so happy. I love hanging out with them. Or your family, you can feel like your family makes you feel loved. Or a relationship or eating your favorite food. Like, these things can bring you joy. They can bring you happiness. They can make you feel sad, And as I'm saying that, it's like they can make you feel happy. They can make you feel sad. And it's like, I started thinking, like, is it they that's making you happy and they that's making you sad? Like, we all affect each other, That's very true. We all affect. You hear that? That rumbling? Baby. We're going to keep going. But we all are affected by one another, of course, But I'm like, can that person really make you happy or make you sad or make you feel loved or whatever? Yes, make you feel loved. But I feel like what I'm trying to say is everything that you're looking for outside of yourself is actually within yourself. Let me explain. So, like, if you say, oh, that person makes me happy, like, I don't want to be without them, or whoever the person is, or whatever the case scenario is, it could be a job. That job is, I feel so excited doing that job. It completes me. Like, that is my job. It's like, no, those things that you are feeling and experiencing with those people or in certain places, it's coming from you, actually, which can sound very weird. But if you think about it, it's like, that happiness that you feel, like if you say, oh, that person makes me happy, or, that type of thing. When you're with that person, that happiness is not coming from them. Like, they're not taking happiness and giving it to you. Like, they're not giving you happiness when they're with you, if that makes sense. Like, it's coming from you. It's coming from inside of you. Now, they may, trigger or cause these feelings to come up within yourself, but they themselves is not like your happiness. It sounded a lot clearer when it was going through my head, but I was just kind of contemplating that, and like, I don't know, it just came up and I was like, nobody can really make you happy. They say that about money, like money can't buy happiness or money can't make you happy. And that's a whole nother type of thing that I'm kind of referring to, but just another example. It's like, no, the money doesn't make you happy. The money doesn't make you rich because, like, it's paper. It's like a material thing, You may feel happy. You may feel rich when you have it. You may be able to buy a lot of different things, and, you may be more like secure with it financially, and be able to have material things. But that's really all money can do, is give you those material things. It can give you food, clothes, shelter over your head, those material things. But that joy, happiness, or that rich and abundance feeling that you're getting from it is coming from you. The money itself is not that happiness. It's not that richness. It's just an object that you can use to trade and for something else, in return. But it itself is not your happiness, your joy, your richness, your abundance. That's you. Like, And so I feel like sometimes when we have these experiences in relationship to people, when it comes to certain circumstances that we're in or things that we experience, it's like all of those things that we are experiencing, it's coming from us. That joy, that peace, or that sadness, that's anger, that all of that is you. It's coming from you. It's coming to the surface when you're experiencing these certain things. It's not coming from outside of you. And that's just so interesting to me because it's not the people that make you happy. You are happiness. And so when you are around certain people or in certain circumstances, you may have these experiences that cause you to realize that, or maybe not realize what I'm saying, but it causes these feelings and these things within yourself to kind of come up to the surface. Like that's you. You are the happiness, you know? And so when you're put in certain places and you're experiencing certain things or with certain people, you experience your happiness, you experience your joy, you experience your richness, you experience your sadness. Like you are just experiencing you. And that other person, if someone else is involved, if they feel that way or whatever they feel, they're experiencing themselves. It's like you're experiencing yourselves together. But you're experiencing each other, but you're also experiencing yourself, if that makes sense. But it's odd because, a lot of us, if not all of us, look at it as that outside thing is what is giving me that. That money is giving me this happiness. That person is giving me the joy, or that thing is causing that pain. I feel like in a sense it can be that way, but if you want to get technical and deep about it, it's you. It's coming from you. And that thing, that person, and that circumstance can kind of trigger that to come to the surface. I don't mean trigger necessarily in just like a negative way, but it can kind of cause it to come up to the surface and for you to feel it. But it's always there. So it kind of brings you back to you have everything you need within you type of thing. That's so true because you have everything that you need and you are everything that you need. Technically speaking, if you want to, look at it on, beyond the surface level, you are everything that you need. And everything that you think you need outside of you, those feelings that you have in those situations, it's you. It's coming from you. That happiness is you. That joy is you. That pain is you. I mean, it's not all that you are because you are not your emotions. We're so much more than just emotions and thoughts. But it's within us. It starts within first, and the outside is just reflecting that, as I always say. And I'm still learning this too, but I just got to thinking like, okay, money is the object. Like, you have money, you're like, oh, I'm happy because of the money. You're happy because your happiness, and you think that money is that happiness, but no, you are the happiness. So I think when you could tap into that, it kind of dissolves that idea that you need anything outside of yourself to experience that. Bingo. That's what I'm trying to say. I think when you get to that place where you can see what I'm kind of saying, it's like you no longer are attaching to the outside things, people, places, and things to give you that experience and to feel that because you realize, oh my goodness, that's coming from me. So if that's coming from me, that means I have access to that all the time. That means I have access to that joy. I have access to that pain. I have access to that confusion. I have access to that sadness. I have access to that peace all the time. And so I think it's just a matter of learning how to tap into what? It's like superpowers. It really is. When you think about it, it's like you can tap into different things. But of course, I think it takes mastery and practice and, it's levels to it. But it starts with this idea that the things outside of you are the reason for it, or that's where it's at. I think that's why when we can have, not when we can have, but when we have addictions and certain things, you can be addicted to anything. And so it's like you're constantly going, if it's an outside addiction, you're constantly going to that thing to fill this void within yourself or fill this hole. When really it's a temporary thing. That's why you have to keep going back for it. And, you get stuck on it and you fail to realize that it's something within you, actually. It's not that thing. That thing cannot fix it. That's why you're stuck on it. That's why you keep going to it. It's whatever it's really going to heal that is actually within yourself. And that's when you got to go within and do some introspection and see like what's really going on inside, look at your past, look at your beliefs and all that stuff and dive deep. But long story short, it's all within you. Like you are that happiness, you are that joy, you are that sadness. Those things that you are experiencing are coming from within. They're coming from you. And so with that being said, like I said, you can tap into those different feelings and emotions when you want to. And I think that's what people are doing when we're looking at like manifestation and prayer and just goals and I think that's what people do is they tap into the feeling of it because the feeling is always within them. And so our imagination is very powerful, and I think when you get into that headspace, really, you can envision whatever you want, especially those things like if you want to feel joy, and let's say elephants bring you joy, and you don't have to be around actual elephants. You can go in your mind, envision elephants, and feel that joy wherever you are, and then that you may attract things that bring more of that joy. And I think that's how that works. Law of attraction, or, there's different techniques and ways and things. Basically, we are pretty complex, powerful beings, I feel. And I didn't know that was going to lead me to talking about that, but I think that's what people are doing because, yeah, you can really kind of pull up those emotions, those feelings, and that experience anywhere. I think that's actually what we do unconsciously, without knowing, is we're walking around day to day. A lot of the times we're not present. Not everyone is. A lot of times we are living in our heads and we are experiencing things from the past. We're experiencing things potentially from the future. If you're in your head about what's to come or what you think will happen in the future, that, very well may be a possibility of something that will happen in your life just because, you created or, it happened. So a lot of the times we're in these head spaces, which is not now. So it's kind of like we're feeling the ways that we feel a lot of the times because we're thinking about it in our head. You don't actually have to be experiencing that to feel it though. And so I think that goes hand in hand with what I'm saying about the love, the joy, the peace, all that is coming from you. Is not coming from another person. Therefore, you don't need that person, and therefore you don't need that thing. Of course, it's great to have in your life, but attaching to it and feeling as if that is what's going to give you that joy, that's what's going to give you that peace, I think that's where the illusion comes in, and it can be pretty detrimental. It can, in some circumstances. But yeah, two people can be experiencing that together. And that's a beautiful thing. You can be experiencing that in a certain place. You go on vacation and you're feeling relaxed, you're feeling boom. But that relaxation is not the vacation. It's not the destination. It's you. You're the vacation. You're the destination. And so you can feel that whether you are stuck at your house or whether you have a home in LA, you can kind of be where you want to be and feel how you want to feel wherever, whenever. And that may be a whole nother episode where I may get into that because I didn't know that's what I was going to be talking about. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing in some circumstances. I feel like when you don't know about it, it can be a lot when you don't really have that awareness of it and you don't know how to implement it in your life. Being able to return to the present moment and realize that you are that which you are seeking outside of yourself. If you feel like a great vacation or something is what's going to bring you relaxation, it will relax you. Of course it's going to relax you, but that relaxation was available before you got to the vacation. You could have tapped into that when you were at home. You probably didn't know how or didn't think it was possible, so maybe it didn't happen, but it was available. It wasn't the thing outside of you that's causing it to come up, because if it's coming up, it's coming from somewhere, and that somewhere is you. So it's like, that's interesting though. That really is. Maybe that can solve a lot of people's problems. Because you're not actually stuck in whatever circumstance or situation you're in. You really can, it's kind of like time traveling in a way, or like teleporting, but mentally. Yeah. So yeah, it's you. It's coming from you. I'm not saying people don't affect you and they don't. Yeah, for sure. But those feelings, those emotions, and those things that you're experiencing are coming from you. You just may be experiencing it with other people around you, or in different locations and circumstances that you're in. You're experiencing you, essentially. You experiencing another person or other people is you experiencing you. You going to a different location, or going to a certain job, or whatever the circumstances is, it can literally be anything that's you experiencing you, just in different ways. So yeah, it's coming from you. It's not coming from them. They hold their own joy, peace, pain, emotions, thoughts, experiences. Everybody has it for themselves. You can share that. You can share your love. You can share your care. You can share, hey, we can exchange these things with one another, but it's coming from the inside of you, and whatever you feel like that person is giving you is coming from you. It's not really, I can't take the happiness, like let's say I'm feeling happy, I can't take that happiness and just give it to you. But you can be around me and in my space, and you may begin to feel your own happiness by associating with me. That's all I'm trying to say. But I didn't really take my happiness out and give it to you, because you had your own happiness somewhere. Even if it was buried deep down, it was still there. And sometimes when we put ourselves in situations around certain people, or even by ourselves, we get to experience that. This is why they say watch who you surround yourself with and stuff, because you begin to experience yourself in those ways that they're experiencing themselves. So if you're around people that are very bitter, very judgmental, then you will probably feel uncomfortable, or you will start to take on that energy or that part of yourself. Like they say with friends, like you are who you hang around, you are what you eat, that type of thing. I don't know. I just start throwing out sayings, but you may or may not get the gist of what I'm saying. I just definitely wanted to share that because it's something that I needed to hear, because a lot of times if we're not thinking about these things, or if they don't come up, you never really know. But it gets you thinking. It definitely gets you thinking when you hear it from somebody else, or if it just pops up in your head. You're like, it's something to consider, and it could be life-changing, even though it seems, very small, minuscule. It's actually huge. Because as I'm talking, I kind of spiraled into you can kind of feel what you want to feel when you want to feel it. That can also be a way of avoidance too. So, there's a lot you could talk about. And that's just what I wanted to talk about today. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any takes or anything you want to say about this topic and these things coming from within you, just let me know. Definitely let me know. You can always email me or comment it below on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, wherever. But definitely go subscribe, follow on all those platforms. And thank you so much for tuning in to Transform Perspective. As I go along in my journey in life, I definitely just really enjoy sharing. So if you relate in any way, resonate, or just want to say something, let me know. I'm here. Subscribe, follow, share with those who you think would just like to listen. As I go, I am trying to do what works and what doesn't, and just see what's going on. So you can come along with me on this journey and be a part of Transform Perspective just by listening and sharing if you want. It is a safe space and safe community. Remember, it is not about perfection, but committing to expansion. Have a transformed perspective. And don't forget about that free 15-minute guided meditation for deep relaxation, okay? Remember that. It's in the link below. The description. Okay, bye.